Hello and welcome to Smaulgld's update on the Indian rupee demonetization scheme that is going on right now in India and the chaos that it is engendering. India to ban gold ownership and imports? Sounds drastic, but there have been reports and we're going to go through those reports and see what truth there is to them. Before we get started, happy Thanksgiving to all. Belated happy Thanksgiving. And there is a Black Friday, Cyber Weekend, Cyber Monday gold and silver sale going on at smaulgld.com. I'll leave a link up here for you. Smaulgld is featuring a number of precious metals affiliates, and they're all running specials on gold and silver and even platinum. So please check it out. It helps out the website. It helps out Smaulgld. If you appreciate the work we're doing, please buy your gold and silver through smaulgld.com. I get a small commission. You pay no more, no less than if you visited the sites directly. And I'm not recommending that you buy gold or silver, but if you're going to buy gold and silver, please do so through the fine affiliates we have assembled at this link right here. Now, India opens new fronts in its war on cash and gold. Let's recap what's happened so far. On November 8th, we reported the Indian government had demonetized, fancy word for saying you can't use your bills anymore, the 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. And that order was issued by the president or the prime minister of India on television, and his order was effective within about 24 hours of him making that announcement. And therefore, if you had 500 and 1,000 rupee notes, you could no longer use them after 24 hours. Stores would not take them. You could not use them. However, they said you can exchange them for new notes or just deposit them in a bank, and you'd have about 60 days to the end of the year to do so. And they were saying this was a way of combating corruption. We then did an update on November 15th called India's Currency Ban Insanity Update. The link is there for you. You can click on it. There's also YouTube on it. Quick update on that. We noted that those 500 and 1,000 rupee notes constituted 86% of the cash that India is actually using, which means basically they took all their cash out of circulation in 24 hours and told people they had to return them in. Then there were long lines to exchange or deposit cash. We reported on that. We reported that there was a shortage of the new notes. So the idea that you could exchange them in exchange for new notes was kind of a blank promise, because you could theoretically, but they did not produce enough of the notes. It seems to me on purpose. They did not have enough notes, so basically you were forced to deposit them in a bank account. And keep in mind, about 40-45% of Indians have bank accounts. The rest don't have bank accounts. When you go into rural areas, maybe 80% of them don't have bank accounts. So what are they going to do? Well, they're going to want to exchange their notes rather than open a bank account. But there are no notes for them to exchange, or there were shortages, and they said it would take 6 months to get the notes ready. This was all done on purpose to shock and awe, to kind of call out the black market, but basically they picked up everyone else in their dragnet. And we also reported that there were soaring gold sales and premiums. That night when they announced the rupee demonetization, people rushed to the jewelry stores and there was a 23-fold increase in gold sales. Premiums shot up. Now a lot has changed. So now we're about 10 days later, and let's get an update on what's happened in the last 10 days. A lot has changed. Well, just yesterday, India decided you can't exchange your notes anymore. You were going to have to the end of the year to exchange them. Either we don't have them, we don't want you to exchange them. You can't do that anymore, other than at the Royal Bank of India, which most Indians don't live near the Royal Bank of India, so they cannot exchange their notes anymore, which means you are now forced to put them into a bank. You can still use them, I believe, at utilities to pay your electric bill, and I think to pay your education costs. That's about it. Otherwise, they're not legal tender, and they are essentially worthless, and they cannot be exchanged because there's no place to exchange them. Reuters, I read a Reuters article. I did not link to it here. They refer to these notes as large notes. No, they're not large notes. They're the everyday bills that Indians use. Another thing that happened was reported that only 60% of the outstanding currency had been exchanged or deposited. Well, that means now the remaining cash must be deposited or it becomes entirely worthless. There were deaths and suicides reported due to people standing in lines for long hours in the heat, and also people killing themselves because they didn't have the ability to access their funds, creating quite the hardship for many people. And of course, there's probably some people who are corrupt and did have illegal funds, and they realized that their life of crime savings has not, they're not going to be able to realize that money, so perhaps they off themselves as well. But in any event, there has been chaos in India from people of all ages and all walks of life. The rupee cratered. No surprise there. The dollar's rising anyway. Emerging markets are getting crushed. This does not add confidence in the rupee, in that the government can just come out and say, guess what? You got to turn your notes in. They're no longer valuable anymore. Oh, by the way, we don't have enough notes for you to turn them in, so guess what? We're not going to let you turn them in anymore. Not a big confidence booster for the rupee. Then there were rumors circulating about a limit on domestic Indian ownership. I put links to all these. You can click on them, the news stories. I had to scour the Indian newspapers to get this. And yeah, that's what the Indian government would love. Don't start storing your wealth in gold. Don't keep doing that. Don't pile up the gold wedding gifts and the necklaces and the ornaments and the ingots and the bars. Put your money in the bank. That's what we want. Get it digitized. So there was talk that there was going to be a limitation. Then the rumor was officially denied by someone in the finance ministry. And many of you know the concept. It's not true until it's officially denied. It was officially denied. I'm not saying it's true, but take that official denial for what it's worth. Then there were rumors, and this one hasn't been officially denied yet, that they would do an Indian gold import ban. There's already a 10% duty on gold since late 2013. And India's always said they don't like all the gold imports. It screws up their balance of payments. Well, their balance of payments are good right now, so that's not really an issue. So they just want to clamp down on gold imports, and we'll see if indeed they do a gold import ban. Keep in mind what impact that might have on gold demand worldwide, gold price. There's reports saying gold would plummet $200. I don't know. We'll see, but we don't know if there's going to be a ban. We'll just follow that when and if that happens. Then there was a report of a planned government forced participation in Indians' gold monetization scheme for those that bought gold over the last couple of weeks, because India is concerned that those people are trying to avoid, they turned their rupees in, they bought gold, they're trying to keep that wealth hidden, and they figure, well, we can offer them amnesty if they take that gold and just give it back to us, and we'll give them that certificate that you get in the gold monetization scheme that says we'll pay a small amount of interest, but guess what, we get the gold. Then there are also stories of creative ways of exchanging cash. People who had lots of cash. Remember, there was only a certain amount you can exchange, even when they let you exchange. Now they don't let you exchange anymore. So people were sending people in line, you know, let's say they had 10, 15 servants. They'd send their servants in, ask them to exchange the cash for them. And that may be another reason why the government shut down the exchange program, because people were finding a way to exchange larger amounts of cash using multiple people. Even though the Indian government had where you couldn't come back in line, they would mark your finger with indelible ink, so you couldn't go back there. The whole thing was a mess, still is a mess. It just shows the lengths that the government will go through to try to, in their minds, knock corruption out, and how they've inconvenienced the entire nation. In fact, more than just inconvenienced them. in many instances, they may have bankrupt stores because they can't accept notes, so they don't have a business. People can't buy what they need. So that's what they've done to try to do this shock and awe breakdown of corruption, or smash corruption. They've basically smashed their whole economy by doing this. And then here's another thing, and this is the last point that's happened, is we mentioned 10 days ago gold sales are up. Well, guess what? Now they're down 95%. Why? People don't have any money, no cash to go and buy the gold. They couldn't exchange the currency. They can't take much. Right now, there's no easy way to go and buy yourself some gold. And also the dealers are worried about the big brother tax authorities looking over their shoulder. So now not only is not all, but a good portion of their trade gone down in general, but now the gold trade is down too. So banning imports on gold won't do much good if the jewelers have no need for it because they can't sell it. So who knows how this thing is going to come out. I don't know if the government realizes that this probably wasn't worth it. If they wanted to move to a digital society, they could have done it gradually and not try to do it overnight as they've done here. But that's what they've done, and we'll see. Now, gold is a big problem. Now, they may be able to play all these games with the currency because they control the issuance of it. They control the value of it. They can recall it at any time. But there's 18 to 22 tons of gold in Indian households, and they have that long history of wanting it, having it, giving it, and they view it as a store of value. They know that, yeah, sure, the government can say these rupees are not worth anything, and that's no surprise to the Indians. They always knew that they could be pulled, maybe not in this fashion, but they've always viewed that the paper money might not be as valuable, or is not as valuable as the gold over the long term. Certainly the rupees that are in circulation today, they didn't expect to be valuable 50 years from now, just as the rupees issued, or whatever they issued 200, 300 years ago, are not worth much today either. But the gold that they pass from generation to generation still is worth probably a lot more than it was worth when it was given. So the Indian government really hates the fact that its citizens love gold, and they want to get it from them. They don't want them to get it. They don't want the Indians to have it. They don't want them to be able to get more of it. And so they tried this gold monetization scheme where they wanted people to voluntarily turn their gold in and get these wonderful rupee notes where they would get paid interest. Virtually no one in India did it other than some temples. They've taxed the gold. They've put the import duty. But so far, they haven't banned ownership, limited ownership, or confiscated it. And as I say, that might be a bridge too far for the government. I don't know what they're going to do. It seems like maybe they're not going to limit ownership. They certainly, I don't think at any point would be realistic to even try to ban ownership. Confiscation, you never know. They might want to do that. But the question for everyone is this demonetization scheme going to be successful in battling corruption? Or is it just a way of the government to grab some tax revenue and penalties and to recapitalize the banks in an immediate fashion? What do you guys think? We'll continue to keep you updated on this story. This has ramifications because it is a test case, and it's a test case in a society that impacts 1 in 5, 1 in 6 people on the planet. So thanks again for listening, and please remember we have that special going on through the Monday, and also please subscribe to Smaulgld and subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter. Thank you.